All right, gang, I am back at it again. And today I'm working on Club Collab. I'm going to show you guys another app I'm working on. I'm actually going to ideate another app and start building that one. But I have like a few apps. I have about like 15 apps in total I've built. I've deployed 2. And the main one I'm really focused on right now at this point is Club Collab. But I have exciting news. So WindSurf actually updated the model they're using. So now they have GPT 5.0, GPT 5 high reasoning, and y'all, as you can see right now, it's just doing work. Like, I put in my prompt, and it is taking every single step and going through it as I expected to and as I directed with my instructions. So if there's one thing I can suggest you guys do, I'm pretty sure if you watch my other videos, I mentioned this in the past, you want to give the IDE instructions. Bare minimum, you want to give it at least 10 instructions, but you want to guide it as to how it's working. And I know I was getting to that point where I was going to show you guys the instructions before, but today I'm going to go directly into the instructions so you can see what I have listed as my instructions. I think last time I was just so focused on making sure everything worked that I couldn't really show you guys the instructions, but today we're going to get into the instructions, because what's great about GPT-5 is, as you can see, as it's thinking and it's planning, you can see it using your instructions that you gave it. So let's get to my instructions. I'm also like peering over to see what's happening also. Yeah, GPT-5 has been working flawlessly. I may have scrolled past them because my eyes have been like all over the place. When you're using an IDE, like, you want to pay attention to everything that's happening, because sometimes you might have to stop it and re-instruct it, or be like, yes, I want that, but don't change this, make it this way, or don't do too much of that, don't do too much of this, make this 5% instead of 10%, make it 15% instead of 10%, like make it 30 picks instead of 25. Like, you always want to pay attention to what's happening inside the context window. All right, so we're about to get to these instructions very soon. They switched some things around. This is the WindSurf update too. All right, here we go. So you want to go to customizations and you want to manage the rules. This is what you want. So you click on workspace. Whoops, my bad. So you click on here. So here are the global development rules. And if you want these rules, I can give you the rules that I have. What I would suggest is you want your rules pretty much to be based around what you want. So I would ask an AI model what are the best 10 to 15 rules, and then you build from there, because you kind of want your rules crafted to what you're doing, and you can do per app rules or per project rules. But these are my global development rules, and I'll prompt whether to ignore a rule or to strictly adhere to that rule. I'll prompt in additional rules when I start apps, but here are my rules. And so I use this first rule in every single IDE I use. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, even if it's just one of the ones like bold or lovable. And I don't know what's happening with Lovable. I just can't. Lovable's been giving me a hard time. Anyway, WindSurf has been my go-to. It's been clutch. The first rule I always use is ask clarifying questions until I need to put your in there. I think one of the AI agents changed this. Until you're 95% confident about requirements before coding. And one of the great things about WindSurf is, even though I didn't have your in there, it knew what I meant. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I have been doing, I think I mentioned this before, is I haven't been perfectly typing all my responses, and it still knows what I'm trying to say. And I mean, that's what AI is. AI is trying to fill in the next letter, word, sentence. It's trying to figure out what you might say next based on previous interactions that it's been trained on. So it kind of knows where you're going to go next, very, very, very reliably. So that's there's no rule that you're going to use. If you aren't going to use any, ask clarifying questions until you're 95% about requirements before coding. You absolutely want to use that. I don't always use React Native. I don't always do that. Use iOS human interface guidelines. I always do that when I'm developing an iOS app, 100%. Create restore points. This is the second most important one. The second most. Now, some IDEs are building this in, but even if it's still built in, I still add this rule. But create restore points to go back in the event of an app loading failure. And really, you just want restore points whether it's an app loading failure or not, because you might build in a feature that's just making everything not work properly, and you're going to need to go back before that feature was put in, or a component or a hook or anything, you know what I mean, before you added a database or you connected another service. You need to go back, so you gotta have restore. That's the second most. That might be the first most important, if we're being honest. You are careful to only make changes that are requested, or you are confident are well understood and related to the change being requested. I need to reword that, but you want to do that because these will hallucinate. If you don't know what hallucinations are, that's when AI just makes stuff up. You know what I mean? Like I've seen multiple times in my app where AI was just doing whatever, and it's just like, what? Like, this ain't a recipe website, bro. Like, why you got recipes for sauerkraut hot dogs in here? Like, nah, take that out. Like, you need to have that rule in there because it'll just do whatever. And I haven't been keeping track of how long I've been on, but trying to keep these around like 10 minutes. Anyway, let's see where we are with the code. But yeah, if you want some of these rules, just let me know. These rules are absolutely critical. Just let you guys look at some of these for a little bit. You want to make sure that it refactors your line of code. That's one issue I was dealing with, is the other models I was using weren't paying attention to the rules, which is why I'm falling in love with GPT-5. WindSurf actually worked hand in hand with the engineers who built GPT-5 to actually make this work perfectly with a WindSurf, and it really has. I have rules about scaling. I have rules about AI testing and performance. A lot of those rules actually. Create private roadmap for features that are mentioned in PRD and mentioned during prompts, but not implemented yet. So like one thing I'll do is, what people probably don't talk about much is I'll have ideas while I'm actually prompting and coding and working in the app. And I might not want that feature built out yet because it might not be time to build that feature out. So what I'll do is I'll prompt in, add this feature to the PRD, and prepare for this feature to be built in the future. So what'll happen is the IDE will put that feature in the roadmap and prepare itself for it, and then you can keep on going, even though you might not even want that feature. You might not be sure about it. So like a lot of times I'll just ask it to put things in a future roadmap. So I have a public roadmap in this app and I have a private roadmap. But let's get into it. Let me let you guys look around a little bit, because I don't think I've shown any of you too much of what's happening in Club Collab. So this is the dashboard, and the dashboard just gives you quick access to find matches, tools, profile, invite users, and feedback. Then next you have the explore page, And this is the page where you can match with other users. I have a match directory once you have matches. I have a short list for people that you might want to match with later. So this isn't a dating site. This is a site to match with people that you want to create content with. And you might run across somebody that you might want to work with in the future, but you're not really ready right now. So because it's not a dating site and you just automatically want to pass, you might want to work with somebody. So you throw them in a short list. We have a matches component. A messages component. The match directory is here too, so you can message your matches. You can find them easily. We have a community page. There's actually more. There's a lot of updates in the next update I'm going to push. But as you can see, we are working on it. Now let's see where we are. Get these global rules out of here. Accept these changes. What's it looking like? Okay, yeah, toast hooks. Get that hooked up. Back to Cascade. And GPT-5 is still probably working. Yeah, it's still working. It is still working. So I like to have my updates pushed by 8 o'clock too, but GPT-5 is carefully crafting the code that I want. I don't want to talk about the speed because I prefer accuracy. Like, think about this. If you're doing things like this by yourself that typically took a 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 person team, and it's just you all by yourself, if it takes maybe like an hour or two longer to build something out and it's built right the first time, it's worth it. Because that's one thing I was dealing with some of these other models, because WindSurf lets you choose the models. In case you didn't know, you can virtually choose almost any model that's out there that's worth its salt when it comes to coding, not just any model. But anyway, because you can build so fast, Club Collab, I built the initial UI landing page, the flow, the database. When it comes to the front end, that was built in like 2 hours. And then I spent the rest of the night just connecting everything, thinking about the flow, thinking of what features I wanted to have. And that took like another like 2 or 3 days. And then since then, it's just been like little small iterations and things to make everything smoother. Ideating how I can keep users on the app. So adding features like the trend tracker. There's another feature I'm going to add. Adding a feature for the contract creation, contract review, the contract templates, and really building out the messaging feature. I'm not going to say too much now, but yeah, the messaging feature is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. So the reason I decided to do that was because you're going to be collaborating with other content creators and businesses, brands, and anything related to like content creation and UGC creators, like anything they do, you know what I mean? Affiliations. I built out the messages so you don't have to bounce back between different platforms and do different things. Like, you should be able to do as much as you can through the message system. And it's all not available right now because some things have been breaking the app, but I'm going to carefully craft these things, especially since GPT-5 is available now on WindSurf. It is absolutely phenomenal. So and I'll show you guys some more of the tools. So here's the Trend Studio, like I was mentioning. This Trend Studio is capturing data in real time. I have a refresh button right here. These trends don't change that fast, but as you can see, it just updated. So now one of the top gainers in terms of how people are searching or client relations, video production, Final Cut Pro, YouTube content creation, like I'm doing right now, trend analysis, and then it also shows the top decliner. So this stuff is going to be hard coded in, and I have some other ideas for features I'm going to add to the site, but they are all in here, you know what I mean? Yeah, I need to fine tune those, but here goes the contract tool, like I mentioned. Here is the revenue calculator, so you can figure out how much revenue you can get from certain types of brand deals, certain types of collaborations. It's all in here. Anyway, going to put the website link below. Make sure you guys try out WindSurf. I don't know if I have a referral code or not, but If I do, I'll drop a referral code in here for WindSurf, because WindSurf has been a game changer. There's so much I've been able to do with WindSurf versus the other web browser only IDEs. Like WindSurf just it's a little more technical. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like looking at code and don't like getting your hands dirty digging in with the code, then WindSurf might not be for you. But it's extremely powerful. Anyway, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.